Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Today we're going to talk about what is next for Bitcoin and will history repeat. And before we do that, you know what I'm going to say next? Smash that like button. This does help get this channel out to more people and does help to support the channel. Of course, love reading all the kind words, encouraging words that you've left in the comment section below. You take the time to write them. I take the time to read them. And of course, any questions that get asked in the description or in the comment section below. Also, I do look to get back to those as soon as I am able to, with an emphasis on as soon as I am able to, I can respond. Okay, and those of you who are not in the Discord yet and would love to join the Stocks with Josh Discord with the most amazing people on the planet. Of course, I'm there in the crypto channel there, as well as in the meme channel, which I have, aka the Party Zone, and I have my own Crown Traders channel there as well, where I'm sharing education, resources inside some of the trades that I'm taking, as well as some entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And so we're going to jump into, and I was going to say, how do you get there? Well, in the description below. You might need, a lot of people ask, you might need to click that little more button and it will pop out and you get signed up there. You can also follow me on X as well. The handle there is below, and a bunch of other links and resources. Okay, will Bitcoin history repeat? This is what we've seen in the previous cycle here. We see this 2017. Are we going to repeat the 2017 cycle? This is very interesting. There is a star up there around that 280,000. It's kind of like a bit of a loose area there between like 270 and 330 or 340. I've given my Bitcoin prediction. I'll just be honest with you. I gave my original Bitcoin prediction way back in May or June of this year, and I shared it at around about 100 to 100 and I believe 20,000. That was my original Bitcoin prediction, and we still are within that time frame. However, once there was the election and there was administration change to a more pro Bitcoin, I did adjust that to around about, I believe, that 140 to 170 level, 170,000 bracket there, which had been my upper target in my original prediction. My original prediction, I had a lower target and an upper target, and that had been my upper target. So I'm moving to that upper target for now. I'm not prepared yet to say that we'll see Bitcoin in the 200s to 300,000, but it's possible. It is possible. I'm not going to write it off the table. There's some saying that it'll be 500,000 in this bull run. And of course, while Bitcoin is crushing it and taking center stage, also taking a little bit of red there, because Bitcoin is stealing the show, is stealing the limelight, and Bitcoin dominance has been surging, which means altcoins take a bit of a back seat and more of the money flows into Bitcoin, new money flowing into Bitcoin, and altcoin people taking their profits and flowing that into Bitcoin. And we should see, generally we do see in the last cycle, the altcoin season was really kicked off around late January, early February, and pushed through until April. And then there was a really big correction in April, and many altcoins topped out in April, just letting you know this. And then down we went, Bitcoin into the 30s from 60s. It was really big correction there. And then Bitcoin then set a new all-time high in November of 2021, and then we saw capitulation after that. Some altcoins did set new all-time highs in September, October, and November. Just remember this, many altcoins did, their bull run finished their all-time high as far as the bull run was finished was around that April time frame. And so this is why I always teach the methods of how I am trading, where I'm taking profits on the way up off the table. I'm looking to get my original capital out by 300 to 500%. Some tokens I'll be a little bit more aggressive depending on where we are in the bull run or how much I have that token or what I see in the charts. So maybe I'll take that a little bit earlier at 100% or more when the coin is basically doubled in value or tripled in value. And then I look to take profits periodically on the way up based on what I see and what I see for that coin. And then I have my swing bag portfolio, which is where I've shared this before. I have my HODL portfolio, I have my swing portfolio. And so my HODL portfolio, a lot of these coins, I haven't even taken profits on any of them yet because I'm swing trading these same coins. And I look to add to these swing trades when there are dips, and I look at take profits when there are pumps. So I'm continually, and what kind of profits do I take? Usually I'll take all the profit portion off the table. So when I identify an area of resistance, I'll say, look, if I'm up a certain amount in that coin, I'll take all of the profits off the table. Whereas with my HODL bag, I'm generally just taking my original capital off the table. Of course, as my HODL bags continue to grow and get bigger, I will continue to take profits on the way up as well. And that will just depend, again, depending, there's no real set rule as to when I will take profits on those as they go up. It really just depends on various numbers of factors. But I think at the end of the day, when you've got your original capital off the table and you've now protected the trade and you're in house money, it becomes a lot more comfortable to then determine when to take profits as this continues to go up. I do hope to be 90% out of all of my coins by the time of course, Bitcoin excluded, and maybe some of the other coins excluded, maybe I won't be as much as 90%. But in reality, overall, I would love to be 70 to 90%, somewhere in there, out on the way up. Now, that doesn't mean I'm just going to suddenly hit the sell button right before the top. I am regularly taking profits on the way up so I can be prepared if there is any great drop that I've gotten capital off the table. And also, if it continues beyond what I expect, I also have some skin in the game. I still have some coins out there. So a lot of the coins I'll hold through the bear market, but it'll just be small quantities of those coins, just simply because I don't know if I'm going to be able to time the top exactly to get everything out exactly. And I wouldn't want to sell too early. And then there's another 2, 3, 4 weeks of parabolic activity that I miss out on. So that is my strategy there. And I think the number one thing that I've seen that people have struggled with is the taking profits on the way up. And this is why I like the HODL bag, because some people just have one bag. And so they're taking profits too early and they're, I wish I hadn't taken profits. We got the swing bag. And if you're in that same coin, you can be taking profits on the swings, and then your HODL bag can just continue to grow, and it takes that pressure off. And I've found that as a big key for me in this bull run. I also have a day trade bag where I scalp trades in and out very quickly there. Okay, so let's jump into the Bitcoin charts here. And as you can see, we got through. I did say that we would have some areas. Let's go to the daily chart actually, where we would sit in between this 100,000 to 104 level. And you can see we busted through that 104. Let's go to the 3-day chart. And this was one thing that I shared yesterday in the show. Not many of you probably trade off a 3-day chart, but we see the 3-day closes couldn't get through here. 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then finally, when we got a close above that level, that's bullish. And then we busted through again. Now we have another close above this level here. So I think that is bullish. So it's possibly that we don't consolidate much in here, maybe a little bit. Of course, these are 3-day closes, and we could just pause here for a moment, but we could get fairly quickly up to this 112, 113 level. And then my top target for December, which I have, my best guesstimation for December is around 122,000. That's where I feel that around Bitcoin will take. Obviously, if we go based off previous halving years, we could get as high as 130 or above, but I'm going a little bit more conservative with 122. And then, of course, as we come into January, generally there is a little bit of a sell-off at the first week of January. And previous halvings, in the previous halving cycle, we saw that happen from around the week of January the 4th. There was a 30% correction. I'm not sure we'll see that greater correction. I'm thinking more around the 20% regions, which would be par for the course what we've seen in this cycle so far. Okay, so let's look at the yellow brick road, or the liquidation heat map. We follow the yellow brick road. We follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And why do we call it the yellow brick road? Because the greatest concentrated areas of liquidity are bright yellow. And we've tended to see that Bitcoin does seem to like following the money. Show me the money, says Bitcoin. And we can see on the 12-hour chart, we got 108 and 106. I think both of these could possibly get those areas could get tagged. It's just which one goes first. If I'm the market maker at this point, Are we going to come down and get this 106, 105 and then shoot through? And sometimes liquidity gets left behind. This is why I don't strictly trade off these heat maps. These are just I use a bunch of other indicators, and the heat maps are just really there to give me another indicator to make my decision. So I take a bigger picture, but this is why we look at it, just to give us a little bit of a guide. And if we go to the 24-hour time frame here, it's interesting that liquidity is the brightest yellow is going to be below at 105. If we go to the 48-hour heat map there, then again we've got the brightest yellow at around 105 there, and then there is some down there at around 102, 102,000. We go to the 3-day chart here, and there is quite a lot of brightness down below, again that 105 region, and then down at 102 and $101,000 there. So we could trade in that range, that 101, 102 through to 108 just for a little bit, or maybe there's liquidity that's just going to be left behind there, although there is you can see there is more below at the moment. That's why I wouldn't, if I'm the market maker, I'm not the market maker, but if I was the market maker, and this is what I try and ask myself, what would I do if I'm the market maker? I'm looking to try and come down, at least pick up that 105 to 106, maybe down to 104, 103. I'm trying to at least pick up their levels. Do I go as low as 101 to 102,000? It's possible, but I think as a market maker, if I was the market maker, that would be my next play, to come down and get that liquidity below at 105, 106. That would allow some more longs to enter, and there'd be more this area above get brighter. So that's what I would do as the market maker. I'm not the market maker, but we'll see what happens there with that as far as the liquidity heat maps go. So I'm going to guess the market maker comes down for 105, 106, and maybe a little bit lower first before getting 108. But maybe the market maker is going to pull the old wool over our eyes and jump up and get that 108 level first there, and maybe that liquidity doesn't get tagged below at all. These are all possibilities that I have to consider there. And so as we do come back to the Bitcoin charts here, we can see again that we did come up, we didn't quite hit this 108,000 level. We got to 107,793, a new all-time high for Bitcoin there. And of course, we could just, if we look at these ranges here, this would be the range here from about this 103, 104 through to 108. Just like we traded for a little bit in this 100,000 to 103, 104 level. Now we're currently in this 104 to 108,000 level, and could just trade in between there. Of course, at some point, we're going to have to get a move on if we're going to get up to this 122,000 price target that I have for the month of December. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. As always, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget about my altcoin show coming up. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. Maybe by the time you're watching this video, it's already hit. We are just a few, maybe 20 odd, 30 odd people away from subscribing. So if you haven't subscribed and would love to join the Tribal Trades family, you can also subscribe there as well, and that may help push us over that 10,000 person. And of course, otherwise, I'll be doing the altcoin show in a couple of hours, and hopefully we may have hit the 10,000 subscriber mark by then. We will see. I've got a bunch of giveaways to do. I'll talk more about that on the altcoin show, just in pending celebration of hitting 10,000 subscribers. There is going to be some more giveaways out there to the community there. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to give more details about that in the altcoin show. So until then, happy trading.